Welcome to another part of our how-to series on how to use MyFitnessPal app, kind of a starter guide. This video we're going to show you how to create a recipe. This is one of our favorite tools in MyFitnessPal. Here you can add ingredients and MyFitnessPal will calculate the macros on your recipe for you, and the best part is you can save it, edit it, and reuse them as you need. So let's go to our home screen. From your home screen you'll want to go to the bottom right and click More. And right in the middle, you'll see Meals, Recipes, and Foods. At the bottom, you'll want to create a recipe. And this is the page where you'll be able to see all of the recipes that you've saved. Now, you have two options. You can add from the web, which is where you would find a recipe from a favorite food blog that you like and pull a recipe from there, or you can enter your ingredients manually. First, I'm going to show you how to add from the web. Up at the top in the search engine, you'll Google, well, it uses Google, but you'll search for that recipe that you love. So I love Mel's Kitchen Cafe, her lemon blueberry muffins. And it'll pull up the Google results and you'll find your recipe. These are the ones. So you click the link and it'll pull up her recipe. You can scroll down and you can see all the ingredients. And at the bottom of the page, you'll go ahead and click Import Recipe, and MyFitnessPal will automatically pull up the ingredients from her website. So you want to go through and double check and maybe take out anything unnecessary. So I don't know, for example, I would probably take out zest from one lemon. It doesn't add any nutritional, and it doesn't really add any calories to your recipe, so I would take that out. But you just go through and edit it and make sure that it looks good and looks like you want it to. At the top right, you would click the arrow. MyFitnessPal, again, it matches the ingredients this time automatically. So this is where it can get tricky, and you'll want to go through carefully and make sure that it makes sense. MyFitnessPal app is not perfect, and sometimes it can match inaccurate ingredients. So you want to go through and you want to make sure that it's doing it right. So let's say that I go through and I find out that everything is right. I'll first of all go to the bottom and you'll see it says 230 calories per serving, 12 servings. So let's say that your recipe calls for 12 muffins like her recipe does. If it calls for 2 dozen, you can scroll and change it to 24, however many servings. Okay, so hers called for 12. Then up at the top right, you'll click the arrow, and there you'll see it imports the picture from her blog, it inputs the title, the servings, and there at the bottom, it has the macros for 1 serving. You'll want to save your recipe. And now you'll see at the very top, it saved that recipe. So let's say that I want to log it in for today. I'll click that recipe at the top, and I'll click Add to Diary, and it can say how many servings. So let's say that I had 2 muffins for breakfast. Then you can see up at the top under breakfast, it shows you how many macros that was at the top for that meal and logs it for the day. Okay. Let me go ahead and show you now the second way to create a recipe. So go to the More on the main menu, and then you'll want to go to Meals, Recipes, and Foods. Okay, from here we'll click Create a Recipe, and you'll put Enter Ingredients Manually. So we tend to add our recipe ingredients manually to ensure A, accuracy, and B, that we simplify the entry by leaving out spices and ingredients, all things with incredibly low calorie content that doesn't matter if you log it. like cumin and chili pepper. You don't want to have to log all of those things, and it's unnecessary to log all of those spices. So let's see, for example, let's say that you're making a spaghetti sauce. Spaghetti sauce. Really fancy name. For now, we'll just say 10 servings, but we'll show you how to change that in a little bit. So click the arrow. We'll add ingredient. So first we'll go ahead and add honey. We'll just do this really quick. This is not a recipe. Do not try this at home. It has not been tested. We'll add olive oil. We'll add tomato sauce canned. Let's say we have 2 cups of that. We'll add peppers, raw peppers that maybe we sauteed before. We'll do a cup of those. Usually we recommend weighing them, but for the sake of time, I'm just plugging these babies in. Onions, we'll do yellow onions, 100 grams. Okay, there's your recipe for all the ingredients for your spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce. So down at the bottom, there's 10 servings, 43 calories per serving. So what we want to do, once you cook your dinner and you want to weigh the entire finished product, so you may need to take note of the weight of your pan or dish so that you can subtract that out. Okay, so let's say your tomato sauce is ready and you weigh your entire dish, and let's say, for example, it weighs, I don't even know, let's say that it weighs, oh wait, it gives you a limit. So first at the top, click the arrow. Now here we can go in and manually enter your servings. So let's say that you weigh your spaghetti sauce and that you figure out that your spaghetti sauce by itself weighs 450 grams. So you'll want to enter 450 for serving size. And let me explain why you want to do this. So then you'll save it. Now up at the top, there's your spaghetti sauce. Let's go back to your diary. So at the bottom of the screen where it says diary, click on diary. Let's go to dinner. And you want to add your spaghetti sauce recipe, so you'll click the recipe tab up at the top. And there's your spaghetti sauce. Now, when you go to make your meal, you'll want to weigh out how much spaghetti sauce that you use. So say you have your pasta on your plate, you put it on your scale, you zero out your scale, and you pour on your sauce. Let's say when you pour on your sauce, you weigh out that you've poured on 50 grams. Now you can say 50 servings, and that measures your macros for your sauce. And there you go. It's logged. It saves you the trouble of doing a whole bunch of math and trying to add up all the ingredients separately and divide and multiply. This keeps it nice and simple for you. And it seems a little complicated in the beginning, but as you do it more and more, you really get the hang of it, and you start to kind of have a stockpile of all of your recipes, and you can always go back in. So let's go to our recipes, and let's say that you want to edit the recipe. We'll go to recipes, and let's find that spaghetti sauce. Let's say that a week later you do the same spaghetti sauce, but this time you weigh it out and it weighs 600 grams. Let's say you change the ingredients a little bit. So you go to edit the recipe, and you can say, let's say this time honey, let's say you did 2 servings of 21 grams. You did put a little bit more honey in it this time. So you change that, and down at the bottom for your, well, first let's do the arrow. And then up at servings, let's say this time it weighs 500 grams. Save it. And then now when you go into your diary, same deal. You go to add food, go to recipes up at the top, your spaghetti sauce, weigh out your serving size. Let's say this time you put 30 grams. Inputted. And there you have it.